Please welcome Sarah and Levin.
What is ambition? Ambition is the will to succeed. Ambition is doing whatever you need to do to get where you want to be. Ambition is going the extra mile when no one else will. But what is destiny? Destiny is the end game. It's where you finish in life. Destiny is your final destination. If you have ambition, you can alter your destiny. If you have ambition, you can make a better destiny for yourself. Let me share with you how ambition and destiny have shown up in my life. Last year, I was a student at a school where the bare minimum was accepted. I know I want to go to a top-tier college, and if that was the norm for me, I would never get in. I was happy though. I had made some great friends, I was playing on the basketball team, and I had loved most of the people at the school. But I knew that I needed to make a switch if I wanted to get where I wanted to go. So that's what I told my parents. I told them, I said, even though I'm happy, I know I have to make a switch, and I have to be challenged every day, and I have to learn every day. Even though it was hard for me to leave all my friends that I've made, and all of the coaches and the teachers that I've met, I knew I had to make a switch. And that's what ambition is. Ambition is always wanting to push yourself, and always wanting to grow as a person, and always wanting to learn more than the next. Now, some people are born into certain circumstances that they can't control. You can't control who your parents are. You can't control your parents' income. You can't control where you live. But there's one thing you can control, and that's where you're going. If you have ambition, you can control where you're going, and that's the most important thing. Because if you have ambition, you decide where you're going, where you want to be, and exactly what you're going to be. But now, how does one develop ambition? There's three things: grit, courage, and your community. Now, what's grit? Dr. Angela Lee Duckworth, who has a PhD in psychology, talks about grit in her TED Talk. She says grit is sticking with your future. Grit is going in day out, always trying to achieve more than what you achieved the day before. She says something that I think is really important. She says grit is living life like it's a marathon. Now, what does that mean? It means that when you finish one thing, you're already looking to go to the next. When you achieve something, you're looking to say, all right, what else can I do now? The second is courage. Courage is needed to say, I need to make a change. Do you think it was easy for me to tell my parents and all my friends that I wanted to leave them and go to a new school where I didn't know that many people? No, it wasn't. But because I had courage and because I know I want to go somewhere, I told my parents that I needed to make a switch. So courage is also very vital if you want to have ambition. And the third is community. You are the people around you. If the people around you are cutting school, not doing their homework, and not paying attention when they do go to school, that's going to reflect on you. Because you're going to want to be like the peers around you. But if the people you're around are doing extra clubs, or playing sports, or getting hundreds on everything, you're going to want to be like them. So community is very important when developing ambition. Because if the people around you are positive examples in your life, that's going to reflect on you. There's two people that I think are really important to develop ambition. One is Chris Gardner. Many of you probably know who he is because a movie was released about him in 2006 called The Pursuit of Happiness. Chris Gardner was unemployed because he invested in something that didn't take off. He was homeless, his wife had left him, and he had a kid to raise. But that didn't stop him from doing what he wanted to do. There was a position in a new job that he knew he probably wasn't qualified for, but he wanted it, and he wanted it more than anyone because he had ambition. And because he had ambition, he worked harder than everyone else applying for the job, and he was rewarded with the job. Because he had ambition, he was rewarded with a house, with being able to provide for his kids, and he was rewarded with the job. The second person is John O'Leary. Now, many of you probably don't know who John O'Leary is. John O'Leary is a world-known famous motivational speaker, and he's one of my role models. When John was 9, he suffered a terrible accident. He was playing with gasoline matches, and he accidentally set himself on fire. He was burned on 100% of his body. What would it feel like to be a 9-year-old in the hospital where you're burned on 100% of your body? He was given less than a 1% chance to live. Could you imagine being that 9-year-old telling you less than a 1% chance to live? But John was ambitious, and he knew that he could get through this. So he endured going to the hospital and staying there every day. He endured getting his bandages changed because he knew that he could make something of himself. And he did. Because he was ambitious, he's now a world-renowned speaker, he has a wife and kids, he has a family, and he has a job because he stayed with what he liked. He liked being here, he didn't want to die, and because he was ambitious, he was rewarded. So, I've decided that I am destined for great things. What have you decided? Our generation can change the world. We are the future, and we have the abilities to change our destinies. But first, we must believe in ourselves. Something else that John O'Leary talked about was this victor or victim mindset. When he was burned, he could either choose to be the victor and come out alive, which he did, or he could be the victim and say, oh well, whatever. He chose to be the victor instead of the victim. If he would have chosen to be the victim, he wouldn't have persevered, he wouldn't have had ambition, and he wouldn't have kept going, because he would have been a victim, not a victor. So, in your life, you can choose to be the victor or the victim. Which do you choose? Thank you.